Right. We are live yet again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us or for joining me on yet another edition of Whip or Keep. My name is Ken Dumbo, and I'm grateful that you people have joined me on this live stream. This is a show that we have created where we get to interact with our area members of parliament in different locations, constituencies. And so we've been hosting different members of parliament from different constituencies. And I'm grateful to each and every one of you that has been following this show. I'm grateful for your contributions. I'm grateful for the comments and suggestions on how we can best improve this show. So right now, I just want to hear from you if I'm audible enough. I'd love to get some comments. And please, if you're watching, I would also appreciate if you shared this live stream. Yeah, I'd be honored and grateful if you shared this live stream. It will mean a lot for me. Yeah. So yes, you can let me know if I'm audible enough. I'd love to really get feedback on whether I'm audible or not. And also, if you can just share this live stream on your social media platforms so that we can have a fruitful conversation or interaction. So for now, I just want to know, am I audible enough? Is the sound okay? Is the sound very good? Yeah. Okay. I really want to. Okay, great. All right, I really want to hear from you if the sound is okay. Vincent Kahyata, you're saying the sound is loud and clear. Thank you so much. Wadia Nicholas, thank you so much. I would also love to know where you are getting me from and where you're watching this live stream from. It will be very great, so that taziva kuti kwene mwita mbira nikut. You are very audible enough. I can do, but thank you so much. Uptown Mupinde Sakala or Patrick Beeston. Oh yeah, thank you so much. I'm grateful. Jonathan Nasirele Mungandi Kawanda. Thank you so much. I'm grateful. All right, so looks like we are audible enough. Okay, so thank you so much, Uptown Mupinde Patrick Beeston. You're watching from Mpika, and I'm super excited for you. I'm grateful that you are watching because today we are hosting the Honorable Member of Parliament from Mpika constituency, and that is Honorable Francis Robert Kapyanga. Now, there's a lot to discuss with Honorable Kapyanga, and I'm hoping that we're going to have a fruitful conversation. For those of you that are watching us from Mpika and you're members of or citizens or community members in Mpika constituency, it will be an honor for me to actually hear from you on some of the things that you would love us to address with the Honorable Member of Parliament for Mpika constituency. So if you're watching from Mpika, please let us know. Would love to hear from you and some of the things that you would love maybe the Honorable Member of Parliament from Mpika to address. Otherwise, the time is 20:05 and the Honorable Member for Mpika constituency is actually joining me right now, and it'll be great to have him here. Honorable, allow me to sincerely appreciate you and thank you for joining me on today's edition of Whip or Keep. I caught you on short notice, but you didn't turn me down. I don't take that for granted. Thank you so much. How have you been?
First and foremost, you are welcome, and I'm equally humbled to be here. I've been okay, and how have you been?
Now, I've been okay as well. Thank you so much.
Great to hear that.
Sure. I want us to start our conversation with the issue of your suspension from the House. Obviously, we saw in the news that you've been suspended for 14 days from
Yes.
the House on allegations that you accused the Speaker of being impartial, among other issues. How are you spending your suspension, Honorable?
Well, first and foremost, I must admit that it's regrettable that today I'm not in Parliament to represent my people. But this issue is not something that I can divulge into so much because for obvious reasons, also our standing orders. But briefly, this issue stems from uh, something that happened in Parliament, where my colleague, the member of Parliament from Nakonde, raised on what is called an urgent matter without notice, where he challenged the Speaker to name Miles Waliasampa Honorable as leader of opposition in Parliament. The Speaker ruled that she could not admit that as it was not in conformity with our standing orders. Thereafter, as it is provided for under our standing orders, we decided to quietly walk out. We caucused outside, consulted amongst ourselves, and decided to go back inside the chamber. When we went back, the Speaker ruled that we must go out for the rest of the day. And which we did. As we were walking out, then she remarked that that's why there is confusion in your party. You are full of confusion. That did not sit well with most of our colleagues. And when news diggers reached out to me for a comment, I said the challenge we have is that the Speaker also enjoys debate. Like she involves herself in parliamentary debates. She answers on behalf of the ministers. She answers on behalf of the executive, which shouldn't be the case. If she wants to enjoy such a leverage, she needs to contest for an election as a member of Parliament. Then she comes back to Parliament as a parliamentarian. She will then be able to enjoy such interactions in the House. I think that is what was a problem with my boss. One day she saw after that headline, she summoned me to her office and my colleague, the MP for Nakonde, where she expressed concern and advised that we should continue engaging her whenever we had issues. We put it forward to her that we had done that several times, but it seems we do not get the desired results. She emphasized that it was still important that we continue engaging. At that point, I decided to use my wisdom. In her presence, I apologized to the Speaker for my remarks in the newspaper. And I thought we had resolved the matter. Surprisingly, I received a letter from the Office of the Clerk asking me to respond and confirm if the article attributed to me was indeed authored by me, to which I agreed in my letter and reiterated my area position in the Office of the Speaker. The matter again escalated. It was sent to the Committee on Powers and Privileges. Again, before the committee, I submitted that I had apologized to the Speaker, and I still maintained my apology, and I tendered a copy of my apology letter to the committee. In that case, the committee recommended that I be made to apologize before the House. That was the recommendation. Surprisingly, the Speaker decided to suspend me for 14 days. So, yeah, I got suspended.
Wow. So the suspension came in even after you had talks with the Speaker and you apologized to her.
Yes, we had talks in our office. She's the one that called me to our office together with the Honorable Member of Parliament for Nakonde, because she did not like the manner in which he raised that urgent matter without notice regarding the issue of the leader of opposition in Parliament. So she decided to talk to him personally, and equally me regarding the issue of the newspaper article referred to. And for that, I did an approach.
Now, for me, and obviously for the citizens, this is a matter of concern because you are not the first MP to be suspended from their house. Recently, we noticed that Honorable Bino Mpundu was also suspended. And there are actually a number that have been suspended on various issues. Before his sentence to prison, Honorable Munia Zulu was also one of the people that was suspended. And unfortunately, we have seen that some members of parliament in the recent past, due to the way they express their grievances, the way they express their problems, even in the media, some of them, unfortunately, have been unable to prove that some of the things that they address in the media are true. And as such, they've ended up losing their seats because they've been taken to prison. There are a number of examples we can cite. How then, don't you think that as members of the opposition and also members, independent area members of parliament, isn't there a better way that maybe we can also just express ourselves to avoid such kind of sanctions from the Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly?
Well, you know, most of our colleagues, including me, perhaps, came to parliament because got inspired by what those who were in opposition before us were doing. And we thought that was the good way of doing politics. And we got inspired because remember, at the end of the day, we have a duty to continue shaping our democratic dispensation. And we can only do so by providing viable checks and balances. That is very critical for our the development of our country, as well as the adding value to our democracy as a nation. So sometimes, because the dispensation then could provide for such talking in terms of providing checks and balances, our colleagues, including me, got inspired and we came to parliament. We have continued to do almost the same, but maybe circumstances differ. This time around, laws have been stiffened in that regard. The democratic space has been shrinked a little bit, and one has to be very careful before they can utter anything. And obviously, we have to check around and ask, what kind of an environment are we in? If the environment is not permitting me to say this, then why should I? So it's a question of what kind of an environment are we in.
Interesting. So you still have a few more days before you can go to parliament serving your suspension. How then are you spending your remaining days? Have you gone back to the constituency, or what are you working on? What's keeping you busy during this period?
The suspension came about a day after I'd just come back from Mpika, where I was for a month, some weeks. And I decided that part of the suspension, I mean, the suspension is shared between my family and my bigger family in Mpika, which is the Constituency. So the early days of my suspension, I spent it with my family. Tomorrow, God wills, I'm traveling back to Mpika to go and share the rest of the days with the people of Mpika and, of course, the church. We have a very big event in Mpika, a church event rather, in Mpika by the Catholic Church, Chilonga Parish in particular, which will be celebrating a jubilee of 127 years in existence. So it's a very big event and I can't wait to be there.
All right. For those of you that are following us on our social media platforms, we are live on the two Ken Dumbo Comedy Facebook pages, and also we are streaming live on YouTube. And if you're watching and you have any questions for the Honorable, you do well to just leave a comment. We'll be picking up phone calls later on the show. But for now, just allow us to have conversations, taking into consideration some of the things that you had commented on the previous posts. I'll make sure that I try and address them to our Honorable. My guest this evening, once again, is Honorable Francis Robert Kapyanga, who is Mpika area member of Parliament. Honorable, today, after a number of days, Malawi declared, not really declared, but we saw the incumbent president, Honorable Lazarus Chakwera, concede defeat to Professor Arthur Mutharika. And I checked through your profile. You actually put up a poster regarding the same. What are some of the lessons that Zambia can learn from what has happened in Malawi?
Well, it shouldn't just be Zambia to learn from what has happened in Malawi. I think it's all the nations, all the politicians must learn something from Malawi. That when you are elected, you should not take people for granted. You need to ensure that you do what you promise the people first and foremost, and also ensure that you do not detach yourself from the reality in terms of how the situation is for the people. The situation in Malawi, as it where we've heard so many things that the outgoing president detached himself from the reality. The economy has become worse under his leadership. The tribalism is on the rise, and even corruption. Those are the things that have made the Malawian people to decide to change government, and this time around to go back to the person that they had rejected, that he was a better person than the one that they elected. So it's a lesson to all the politicians that the power lies with the people. The people have the ultimate power to change the government. They have the ultimate power to elect. They always know who to replace. They always know who to vote out. So we politicians should learn something from that and should continue loving the people that give us the mandate to preside over their affairs. It's not that we are the wisest. We are just privileged at a particular time to preside over the affairs of our people. And we should cherish it all the time and ensure that we are closer to them, where we are unable generally so to do what they had expected. An explanation can suffice.
Some of the things that you addressed in the post and some of the things that you were just from talking about, the issue of tribalism, the issue of, forgetting about the people, the issue of corruption. Those are some of the things that the current government in Zambia has been accused of. But then it comes at a time when we as a country have been asking or putting pressure that we need to fight corruption, we need to fight tribalism. And then when the law enforcement agencies try to enforce these laws and try to fight corruption, try to fight tribalism, again, from some of the members of the opposition and some just members of the general public, there is this perception that, again, the government in power is not fighting corruption. Even when we have seen some arrests, we have seen allegations of the party in power being tribal. How then does the government fight corruption and the tribalism when the law enforcement agencies try to enforce these laws? Again, the government is being accused of being, persecuting its opponents. How then do they fight these vices?
For me, I think it's a matter of striking a balance in practice, where you are fighting corruption, the past corruption, you also fight the present corruption. You are fighting the past corruption. On the other hand, there are scandals that are being reported almost every day or almost now and then, and no one is being arrested. Of course, people now start thinking maybe the other group is being arrested for political experience, which I'm sure shouldn't be the case. When the government is fighting corruption genuinely, so all of us must support, because they are trying to protect our resources as a country, the same resources that will build roads, the same resources that will build the hospitals, the same resources that will change the lives of the people. Then on the other hand, if we have people who are being pursued genuinely so for corruption, and you have members of the public or members of the opposition saying that it's because they belong to tribe A, that is wrong. I personally cannot support that, but I support a genuine fight against corruption, where even those who are involved in corruption scandals today, I see them being arrested. I will basically support. Even if my brother or my sister is arrested for corruption, I'll support it, because I'll know it's a genuine fight against corruption. Sometimes people tend to think maybe this is just witch hunt, maybe this is just political persecution when they see only one section of the people being arrested. And the other section will only be pursued after the change of government. That shouldn't be the case. Corruption must be pursued in all phases, in all angles. Corruption of yesterday, corruption of today, and it must serve as a deterrent for future corruption.
Interesting. Yeah. Now, let's look at your 4 years so far as area member of parliament from Mpika, Honorable. You are heading a constituency that was so dear to one of my favorite president to ever lead this country, spoke highly of it. Maybe because he comes from there, Honorable, His Excellency President Michael Chilufya-Sata, may he so rest in peace. Now, you came in as area member of parliament at a time when the party that you stood on was actually being removed or lost power. How would you describe your 4 years as area member of parliament, knowing that the party that you stood on, unfortunately, had lost power?
Thank you so much. And first and foremost, I must send my gratitude to the people of Mpika and the Zambian people at large for having entrusted me with a responsibility of being a member of parliament for the people of Mpika. I was elected as a member of parliament in 2021 at the age of 35. And today my head is almost balded and I'm now 39. It was such an honor and a privilege for me to be entrusted with such a huge responsibility of being a member of parliament at a tender age at that particular time. Indeed, Mpika was Michael Chilufya-Sata's hometown, and he once served as a member of parliament for that particular constituency from 1996 to 2001. When he served as local government minister as well as health minister. He was our member of parliament at that particular time. The fact that my party lost power does not stop me from pursuing and lobbying for development, because we only have one government. We only have one government. What changes is just the party in power. What changed in 2021 was just the party in power at that particular time. And a new party came in. Well, we faced in terms of development, where we initially faced a bit of some challenges. But as time went on, we started fitting in terms of the skill to lobby for development. We sharpened our skills to the effect that we needed to deliver to the expectations of the people that gave us the mandate. And like as it were, we started lobbying the government for various developmental projects, such as roads, hospitals, and clinics, electrification. We have achieved some, and we are still pursuing some. I've always said this, you know me, I'm an opposition member of parliament, and I know how to play my role as an opposition member of parliament. I criticize the government. I also thank the government where it is due. What I have seen about so far is that the UPND government does not discriminate in terms of disbursement of the Constituency Development Fund. As a result, we are able to implement certain projects at constituency level. The only challenge we face is that sometimes we get directives from Lusaka directing us on what projects they need us to implement using the Constituency Development Fund against the wishes of the people who are the owners of that particular fund. So the 4 years, we've achieved a lot in terms of infrastructure development. We have electrified 5 communities under the Rural Electrification Authority, which we lobbied from the central government. We've also taken small pipe water.
Maybe before we get to some of the things, because obviously I have that question, but I just wanted to know how your reign has been as a leader, obviously both in the House and at the constituency level. But I love the fact that you've also highlighted that at the time when you got into office as area member of parliament, you were only 35. And
Yeah.
important to note that you were obviously exiting the youthful stage, but still
Yes.
youth at heart, and you are still one
Yes.
of those young people that can actually inspire. What are some of the challenges that you have faced? Obviously, knowing that you're one of the youngest people that are in the house today, there are people that have been there longer than you have been. But also aside that, you're just one of the young people that are serving as area member of parliament. Weren't you at some point maybe feeling like you're being bullied by those that have been there longer than you have been?
First and foremost, Parliament is a very dynamic place to be. There is nothing like bullying, whether they are from the opposition or the ruling party. They are actually always there to give you the kind of support that you need in terms of wisdom, in terms of knowledge, and everything. You actually receive the kind of support that you need. The only divide that we tend to face is the political divide, and where we step on each other's toes politically. Otherwise, it's a very good environment where we learn, where we share ideas, where we exchange ideas on how to shape the areas of, and also the affairs of our people. I have never been bullied before, I must admit, and what I've always received is the kind of support that I desire, either from our seniors from the ruling party side, our seniors from the opposition side, our seniors from the independent side. They've always given us support. Even certain things they will even tell you to say, no, here, you can't do this. Unless if you don't just listen, but they will tell you to say, here, you can't do this. Here, you can. Yeah, even ministers who will be there to tell you to say, okay, here this, here that. There are some who are very good ministers, and you can attest that these are good ministers. Even when you call them, they will surely answer. Even when you visit their offices, they will surely accommodate you, and you will be a priority as a member of parliament in terms, because they know you have taken issues for that concern the people there. They will give you a priority. And during the developmental chats, they will obviously divert and start discussing how you are faring in your constituencies, and offer advice on how you can make a very good member of parliament. And if you have to survive the next chopping board, yeah. Yeah.
Now, I'm very concerned because the kind of relationship that you are explaining that you share as area members of parliament, when you come on the ground, there seems to be a very huge gap between people that support different political parties. As members of parliament, when you are there at the National Assembly, you interact as brothers and sisters, you chat, there is no show that you have any bitter relationships. But when it comes on the ground, we see people fighting every day, we see people insulting each other, we see tribal remarks being given by people, and these are people that live in the same community, yet the relationship among us members of parliament is so different. How do you think that relationship that you share, that is so professional, that you look at each other beyond age, beyond tribe, you are all there just to see to it that this country develops? How do you think that same spirit can be brought down to the ground, where the people that support you as politicians can also embrace each other and love each other the same way you do?
We at Parliament, we have what is called the Parliamentary Reforms and Modernization Committee. In some of my submissions to that committee, I have submitted that Parliament maybe could come up with a deliberate program where members of Parliament could be encouraged to hold exchange visits. Maybe a colleague from PNUP goes with me to Mpika, we hold community meetings together, we talk to our people together. And maybe also colleagues from the ruling party, I go with them to either Northwestern, Eastern, or Southern. We go hold meetings together and talk to our people together. That could actually help our people understand that politics is not an enmity, but a competition in terms of ideas. And the other thing is that political parties also should move in tandem. Usually it's political parties that would want us to appear like we're enemies, because when they see you with and as a result they will start putting eyes on you and maybe even suspend you or even expel you for that particular association. So maybe going forward, how we can modernize our politics is that political parties should accept the fact that politics is a competition in terms of ideas. Then two, where members of parliament could be allowed to have exchange visits, it can also help. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Let's come to the issue of development and also consider the much talked about Constituency Development Fund. This is something that has been talked about differently depending on where the area member of parliament belongs to. Some members of parliament have described CDF as a scam, while some have described it as a game changer. How do you describe CDF as Mpika member of parliament?
Well, CDF as a policy is a very progressive policy. And the enhancement of it in terms of how much should be in the Constituency Development Fund is a brilliant idea. And it must be supported, because this fund is a fund that is helping developmental projects, implementation of developmental projects at the grassroots level. So for me, CDF is a progressive policy. Even the enhancement of it in terms of how much should be in the Constituency Development Fund is a brilliant idea that must be supported.
All right. Now let's look at, I earlier on cut you because you had started explaining some of the things that have happened in Mpika, and I know that it is not your duty as MP to obviously push for certain projects in your constituency, as yours is to ensure that you create policies and just speak for the people in the house. But I know that where CDF is concerned, you play a very huge role to see to it that the projects that are adopted by the WDC and the civic leadership at council level is concerned. Maybe just run us through some of the projects that the people of Mpika constituency have enjoyed under your reign as a MP for Mpika.
Thank you so much. And for the benefit of our viewers, and fund projects are by design identified by the communities themselves. Then the Ward Development Committees go down to the grassroots to hold meetings to ask them, what do you want to be implemented in terms of projects here under the Constituency Development Fund? Then the communities will submit the kind of projects that they want. After that, the WDCs will hold their meetings where they will select the projects. Which projects now they will forward to the Constituency Development Fund Committee. Before the Constituency Development Fund Committee starts to sit, the Technical Appraisal Committee goes on the ground to go and appraise every project, then comes back with a report, which report they will present to the Constituency Development Fund Committee. After they present the report, then the committee now will start making decisions. Okay, so we've got this fund, and the total number of projects that we've received require us to have 400 million. We have to streamline the number of projects maybe to 10, so that we have a number of projects that are in tandem with the amount of money which is available. Thereafter, the CDF committee will forward it to the council secretary. In the past, the council secretary will forward to the province for approval. This time around, the council secretary has the powers to approve certain projects. So that is briefly that is the process. Starting from 2022 to date, we have implemented a number of projects. First and foremost, we found a lot of study projects in the health and education sectors. We decided to deal with that backlog using the 2022 Constituency Development Fund. We completed more than 47 study projects using the 2022 Constituency Development Fund. We also looked at it. When you read the Local Government Act number 2 of 2019, the role of road maintenance and the establishment of roads is solely on the shoulders of the council and the central government. But in that case, we found our local authority had no capacity to undertake any road maintenance because they had no equipment. We decided to use part of that fund to buy earth-moving equipment as well as culvert modders, so that we could have culverts for the construction of bridges. We also bought tents, community tents, because in Mpika, when it's during the rain season and our people have funerals, they have to stay. They have to stay outside without anything to cover them. We decided to buy community tents, I think about 4, so that when the community have funerals, they have to go to the council, get a tent, mount the tent. Even when they are rains, they are covered. That is how we use the 2022 CDF. We continue to 2023. The sectors that top on our CDF list are education and health, as well as the road infrastructure. So even in 2023, we decided to prioritize classroom blocks, construction of classroom blocks. So we constructed a classroom block at a community called Mulila, Chailo, Chivansa, Kasenga, Mulolesha, Nkomba, Chitulika Secondary School, Chitulika Primary School, Chewe Primary School, Malambwa. In all those, we constructed and in some areas completed the construction of classroom blocks. In the same 2023, I realized we had an increase of accidents on a stretch of the Great North Road, which is called the Mpika Dual Carriageway. Because in 2019, the People's Republic of China, through China Aid, gave us a stretch of about 15 kilometers for a dual carriageway as a gift to Michael Chirufyasata. So that road is done and it looks very beautiful. But before, there were a lot of accidents, more especially the bashing of pedestrians would lose a lot of lives. As a member of parliament, I decided that to beautify, first and foremost, to beautify the town, and secondly, to save the lives of our people who are being lost at the hands of speeding motorists, we put up traffic lights. So we decided to install solar-powered traffic lights at 2 sections. The section at the branch of, the Kasama turnoff, and also the Boma turnoff, the road that goes to town. We decided to install traffic lights there using the Constituency Development Fund for 2023. We also did some market shelters in Kamwanya and Tazara. In Tazara, we completed the construction of a market shelter at Mulambe and also put up tables, market tables where the marketeers put their merchandise in Shanghai market, and also electrification of the same Shanghai market. We also used the part of the fund to do 2 clinics, one in Nabwalia Chiefdom and the other one in Chovela, which is Mkungule Chiefdom. The people of Chovela would walk 28 kilometers from Chovela to go to Katibunga for healthcare services. But this time around, with the construction of the health center there, when we fully equip it and operationalized, The people will just be getting the medical services right from within Ichovela community. They would not move the kind of kilometers that they used to move in the past. We proceeded to use the same fund even for the construction of a police post at Chilonga. You know, Chilonga is actually one of the biggest communities in Mpika. It falls under Nachikufu ward, and it's about 30 kilometers from Chilonga to the Boma. We also have Chilonga Mission Hospital there, which also works as a referral hospital. Despite the fact that we have a big hospital there was no police post. Even for certification of BIDs, people would go to Mpika Boma, have the police do the police report, then take the body back to Chilonga. That did not sit well with me as a member of parliament. And the fact that there was high crime rate in the area did not sit well with me. I decided that we take security closer to our people, and we constructed a police post just right near to the Chilonga target. It's already operationalized, and we've security there. We've reduced the crime rate. Our people are now very safe. The certification of BIDs is also done from there. They are no longer going to the Boma. We also graded the road from Mufubushi to Kasenga. This is a farming community which construction works started in 2020, but we decided to do it using the Constituency Development Fund. We progressed to 2025. Of course, I'm just briefly talking because of time. Yes. In 2024, we got a presidential directive that we deal with the issue of chief's palaces, and we started constructing a chief's palace for Chief Chikwanda. And one of the presidential directives was also that we procure desks that will bridge the gap in terms of how many desks we had and what was the shortfall. So we decided to do an assessment. After the assessment, we discovered that we needed about 8,400 desks. We decided to proceed to procure 8,400 desks in that particular year as a presidential directive, and we implemented it. 2024 part of it, we used it to install free Wi-Fi at Musakanya market for the communities, particularly the youths who may not afford the bundles to do schoolwork, research, and surfing the net, coding, and other things. Arising from the fact that as a youth member of parliament, I know the importance of ICT, we decided to install free Wi-Fi at Musakanya market, which is fully operational, and our people are accessing it. We also did a lot more in terms of infrastructure, community schools, primary schools, in terms of adding more infrastructure portfolio in areas of classrooms, and yeah, that is 2024. In the same 2024, we decided to do a small piped water scheme using CDF in Lubambala ward, which is Tazara area. You know, in Mpika, we house the regional headquarters for Tazara, and there is an area called Depot Compound there. That's where we did a small piped water scheme using the Constituency Development Fund 2024. The CDF for 2025, again, there was a presidential directive that we built the National Assembly offices, the office for the MP. I personally decided that I still had areas that did not have health facilities. So I saw it important that I prioritize the construction of more health centers. I requested the Minister of Local Government to engage Cabinet Office on my behalf, and maybe be flexible a little bit with the police, because you know a presidential directive is the police. So they understood us and decided to defer our construction of an office to next year. The money that was supposed to be used for the construction of an office we have constructed 3 health centers, that is in Inabwalia, Malashi and Mtamba communities. At least after that, our people would stop moving, say 25 to 30 kilometers for them to go and access healthcare services. Within their communities, we've taken those facilities closer to them, courtesy of the Constituency Development Fund. Regarding capital projects, we've lobbied from the government a number of capital projects. We've lobbied the construction of an Akro bridge across Mwareshi River in Chifu Mkungule. We also lobbied the government for the installation of a digital X-ray machine at Chilonga Mission Hospital. It has been installed and operational right now. Anyone that goes to Chilonga will be subjected to that kind of a machine. We also lobbied for the electrification of Katongo Kapala community. That is a community of about 35 to 37 kilometers away from Mpika Boma. The community is being electrified under the Rural Electrification Authority. We also lobbied for the electrification of Mufubushi community. 60 years after independence, 65 years after independence, the community is already electrified and the people have electricity. The same applies to Chipushi, part of Kaombe. Part of Kaombe did not have power, part of it had. Part of Kaole did not have power, part of it had. So the part that did not have power, we've electrified, as well as Kuku and Yoani. We've taken electricity there, courtesy of the Rural Electrification Authority. We also lobbied the central government for the installation of 5 small piped water schemes. These piped water schemes are a borehole. You drill a borehole, you put in a solar powered pump, you erect a tank stand, you put a tank there, and then you lay 20 to 25 pipes. You take the pipes closer to the people. We lobbied that from the central government through the Ministry of Water Development and Sanitation, and we were given. We took those projects to Kapoko, Kaole, Mufubushi, Malambwa, Chikwanda, and Mkungule. Right now, we have also lobbied 8 more. 3 have been advertised for procurement, and the tender is at an advanced stage, and we are looking forward to expedited works so that our people can start having safe and clean water. We also lobbied for the completion of the Katibunga Boarding Secondary School, whose works started in 2013. The government funded the completion of the Katibunga Boarding Secondary School, and the works are progressing very well. So same applies to Kampamba Day Secondary School. It is started in 2012. We lobbied extensively from the government, and the funds were raised for the completion of Kampamba Day Secondary School. The contractor is on site right now. When you go when you come to, you find there is a structure that was earmarked for the construction of a modern bus station. The works started in 2013. Right now, you come there, you find the contractor on site because we lobbied the central government. They understood the importance of continuing with that project, despite the fact that it did not reach 80% completion. Remember, the government came up with a policy that all the projects that did not reach 80% completion were removed from the completion list, and others, even their contracts cancelled. But in the case of this one, the government understood the importance and progressed with it. Right now, the contractor is on site. We've done a number of projects, both from the CDF and others from the central government in terms of lobbying. Right now, we've continued to lobby for the construction of township roads. because we have a very big challenge of township roads. Our roads are dilapidated, and these are roads that cannot be done using the Constituency Development Fund, because constructing a bituminous road, a kilometer, you need about $1 million US. That is what the engineers tell us. That is what those who are vested with the knowledge about road construction tell us. You need about $1 million US per kilometer. So we need about 500 million for us to have bituminous road township roads in Mpika. This is the biggest challenge we have, and we've continued to lobby the central government that they come in and do township roads in Mpika, because they are in a dilapidated state.
Wow,
The Mpika Nabwaria road. We are also lobbying the government to construct a road from Mpika to Nabwaria. Nabwaria is a chiefdom which is in the national park, in North Luangwa National Park, bordering with Mambwe district in Eastern Province, in Mfuwe, that side. Yeah.
Honorable, that's a mouthful of projects that you have given us, and even from the comments, people are actually commending you for that list of projects that are being done. Now, at this moment, I want to
in addition to that, when the presidential delivery unit went on the ground in every constituency to do an assessment of how CDF was being used, on 2 to 3 occasions, Mpika has always come out first in Mchinga province as the best performing constituency, and I owe it to our officers at the local authority for expedited implementation of CDF projects. If you remember, the then local government minister even told my colleagues in parliament to say, do not be misled by how he presents himself here in terms of politicking and all that. He's very hardworking back in his constituency.
Honorable, looks like you mislead your colleagues in parliament. Whilst they're politicking, you're doing a lot of work at constituency level. But let's open it up to the people that are watching us right now, and just allow them to give their thoughts on some of the things that are happening in your constituency, and also basing it on what you have communicated. You are through to Wipo Keep with Kendumbo. My host, my guest rather, is Honorable Kapyanga from Mpika. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Kapyanga, and good evening, Mr. Kenny.
Good evening, thank you.
From Wamba District.
Your name is?
Richard Mazunda from Wamba District.
From Luamba District. Is it in Mpika?
No, in Western Province.
Oh, in Western Province. Your contribution to our guest this evening.
So first and foremost, allow me to recognize the Member of Parliament there.
Thank you.
He's a very useful Member of Parliament. And for us, I think when things are done in a proper manner, we always give credit where it's due. So even if in Parliament we see people, they don't understand the laws of the Member of Parliament. The MP there sometimes in Parliament, maybe people feel he opposes, he does what. But the way he has lamented issues here on this platform, you can easily tell that he understands his job. In as much as he's coming maybe from an opposition member of Parliament, but he understands his job, and he's simply giving credit to the New Dawn government for creating that enabling environment, where he's able to say there are some projects that way we're not moving because they were at standstill. But the coming in of the New Dawn government, we'll see now the enablers of those projects to reach to completion. If you were to give him time, I think he can get even 2-3 hours just talking about, and he's flowing. You can see that things are happening. If it wasn't for the New Dawn government, I can rest assure you, members of Parliament have been using their own monies to reach out to people. But with the coming of New Dawn government, you can see him in the Member of Parliament. He's relaxed. He's enjoying the way how he's articulating issues. So now my question is, maybe so that I don't get much of the time.
Please.
My question is, honorable member there, maybe what I just want to ask you for. Last time, Ken, I asked this question when Honorable Imanga was on this platform, but unfortunately, due to time, maybe he never responded the way we wanted. Suppose that schools now are done built. Suppose that classrooms now have got desks. Suppose that those clinics now, the maternity annex and all those other facilities are now, and suppose the water reticulation, all the villages now has got water, has got power. Where are these monies going to be projected? Mandalama is designed kuti ngati maskulu kamanga bose basilako bipatala tulinavo madeski, all these things are there. What is the future of CDF? Now on the whip or keep, I think this MP, we should give him a chance. For me, I think we don't mind about whether it's coming from PF, independent or UPND. For me, what is my subject is solving out the problems in Mpika. And I've liked him. I think he should also create a chance for the young people in his district, mentoring them and giving them that enabling environment so that they can also learn politics, so that they can learn how we can also excel as young people. Otherwise, thank you very much. Can continue with the same spirit, and may God bless everyone there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We're grateful. Hope you took note of that, Honorable. Allow me to just also pick a few more calls to those of you that are watching us on our 3 different platforms. If you want to call and ask any question or contribution to what the Honorable Member of Parliament has given, you are free to call. The number is showing right on your screen, so you can call that number, and we'll definitely be happy to interact with you. There is a question that has come through, Honorable, right now via our Facebook pages. Why installing Wi-Fi at the market instead at the skills center? That is a question that some of your people want you to look at. And there is a question that has come through from Mike Homi Mwape, who says, looking at what he has explained, he has run his race. This is a compliment. Mike Homi Mwape is actually rating you, and he has given you a score of 7 out of 10. And he says, this is good job, knowing that also your term is not over. I'm trying to see some of the concerns that have come through. Trying to check through. So there were regarding the Wi-Fi that you mentioned, Honorable. I think there was a comment where, so people were asking, there is Wi-Fi at Msakanya Market. Looks like people are not aware. Could it be a case of the promise that we were given by Msaka, then Mao Sampa, and then we never saw the Wi-Fi at in Lusaka? But yes, somebody needs clarity on that. Mpika is in the hands of a visionary young MP. That's a compliment that has come for you, Honorable. I'm trying to see other comments that we can read out to you. Right, quite a number that have come through, and we'll check them out later on. Maybe you can start by responding to what the caller highlighted.
Thank you so much, and I'm very grateful, Mr. Richard from Luampa. And indeed, you know, there are two different things here. You have a member of parliament elected to serve the people, and on the other hand, you have a politician representing his political party. But what is very important is a member of parliament serving his people. A member of parliament, Mr. Kazungo, is a government officer. I'm a government officer. I'm a government officer paid for by the Zambian people. As such, I have to commit myself to serving the people. I have never, ever entertained the thought of me frustrating government works. If I frustrate government works, who will suffer in the end? It's my people. The same people that showed me love by giving me the position of member of parliament. I can't entertain such a thought, and I'll never. As such, I have committed myself to serving the people, regardless of the issues of who is there. The government is the government for the people and of the people. As such, when government comes up with good policies, we implement those policies with might. And when the government comes up with bad policies, we will remind the government what a good policy looks like. For the one who is doubting the issue of Wi-Fi at Msakanya, please go there. And it's a free password. I mean, there is no password. You just check for Msakanya. If it's very on, you find it. If it's not on, please just see the council officers around there and remind them that the Wi-Fi is not showing. We've installed that particular facility for the people to use. And someone asked, why is it at the market instead of the skill center? It's a very good question. And indeed, we've entertained the thoughts of ensuring that we also install at the Skills Training Center. The reason why we decided to prioritize the market is because it's centrally located and it's a big place. Anyone, even during the night, someone can just stand by and access Wi-Fi. Unlike the Skills Training Center, which obviously during the night is closed. And it's also very small. It's a restricted area. You cannot just go in and out. There are, I mean, government properties there, which we cannot subject to that kind of a thing where security is not guaranteed. We decided that we put it at the market where everyone could easily access it. There is another comment of looking at, you know, there are things that we've not even mentioned here, what we've done because of time. I wish Mr. Ken could allow us to go even for 2-3 hours just explaining things in details. Right. But of course, due to time, what we've mentioned is enough. So on the other hand, I have lobbied for, I have brought in 5 companies that want to venture into power generation. 3 hydropower stations. They want to invest at Kapamba Falls, Mutinondo Falls, and there is another falls that they want to invest in and start constructing hydropower plants there. Then there is also 2. One wants to do a wind. They want to put wind turbines at Musakanya Kombe Mountains and start generating power, which they will be selling to ZESCO. Then the other one is a solar farm. These ones are already doing feasibility studies in Mpika. They've been doing feasibility studies for the past 1 year, some months. And when they conclude with that, they will request the government to sign power purchase agreements. Once they sign power purchase agreements, according to them, they've already secured the necessary funds. If you remember, the Minister of Energy even mentioned some of these companies on the floor of the House in Parliament. Some of these companies, I personally urge them to come to Mpika, understanding the importance of having those projects because they will create jobs for our people. Our youths who have jobs, will have where to work. Those ones that we are training under the Constituency Development Fund, those ones that we are sending to Rukasha, we are sending to Isoka Trades, those ones that we are sending to various trade schools across the country, will go and work there because they have acquired the necessary skill.
All right. To those of you that still want to call, you can call. The number is right in the on the screen. That is the number that you can call. But let me just look at some of the questions or comments that have come through our Facebook page. What has CDF done with regards to sports activities in the constituency? Because sport has a lot to share. That's a question. So regarding sport activities, how has CDF been utilized in your constituency, Honorable? Caleb Mwaba says, Honorable Francis Robert Kapyanga, he's a hard-working MP ever in Mpika. So that's a compliment coming to you, Honorable. Vula SK says, Honorable reminds me of some genius pupils we had who could make noise in class but never failed the test. He's a resourceful noisemaker in Parliament.
Thank you so much.
Sure. There's a concern from Kelvin Kangale Mukuka, who is raising concerns regarding the bad state of roads in Mpika. So he says the roads in Mpika town are pathetic. I don't know what your office is doing about that, Honorable. I think those are some of the comments that have come through. Maybe you can respond to those as we come to the end of our program.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much to those that have taken time to listen to our program. But Kelvin, like I stated earlier on this same program, that township roads in Mpika are in a dilapidated state. I did admit, and it's the biggest challenge we have right now. It's the issue of township roads. You know, once these township roads are done, like they are constructed, they are upgraded to bituminous standards, they will beautify our town. Our town will become very beautiful. I always imagine roads in Kamwanya being upgraded to bituminous standards, roads in Chitulika, roads in Shanghai being upgraded to bituminous standards, it would always be a legacy that the UPND government could leave, and it would always be a legacy that I could love to associate myself with, because this is the vision that even Michael Chirufya-Sata, may so rest in peace, had. Then regarding sports activities, of course, we do tournaments sometimes with Constituency Development Fund, as well as buy them soccer equipment such as jerseys and soccer balls. But of course, that is not enough, because these days we have mushrooming of football clubs, and we are trying our level best to ensure that we now focus on the construction of sports facilities going forward. That is what we have in our developmental plan. Then at the personal level, I always sponsor football tournaments. Right now in Mpika, they are playing a football tournament for 350,000 kwacha, which will be for the Independence 24th October. This is what we have always done on Independence Day, on Youth Day, and on Christmas Day. Yeah, then Ivamuava, thank you so much for that comment, and indeed we'll continue working hard, of course, with the support of the people, the support of everyone. The same support that they give us is the support that makes us work hard. But again, when I just won, before I became a member of parliament, I just decided, because I'm a product of suffering. I come from a very humble background. So before I became a member of parliament, even before conceiving the idea of standing, I decided that in a small way I started contributing to my community. I started to start helping those that had bereavements during funerals, sports activities, taking vulnerable children to school. Remember that time when we had before the free education policy, we had pupils paying my 200 kwachas, my 150s, and also my 1,000 kwachas. I would sponsor a lot of them to school. And right now I have 11 vulnerable children that I sponsor at college. I would do that. Even after winning, I decided to continue, because other people thought, oh, he's doing this because he wants to become a member of parliament. Even after winning, I decided to continue. We've been sponsoring our people in all manner of challenges that they face. And I even left them with I committed one of my vehicles to saving the community during funerals and any other challenges that the community could face. As time went on, late last year, I saw that that vehicle had worn out. I decided to buy a new one. Right now, you go to Mpika, you find a community vehicle running around during funerals and other events that are community centered. This is in a bid to ensure that we continue serving our people, understanding the fact that in these communities, we have people that cannot even afford a coffin even when they have lost their loved ones. That we continue doing under what we call the funeral support policy. We've continued to support the elderly in society, the disabled. I buy wheelchairs from China, a lot of them, and distribute to those that the disabled people in communities. There are a lot of things that we could do as a member of parliament, and we always pray that God continues to grant us our desires as we continue to serve our people better.
That can be confirmed through the comment of Dave MK, who says, Honorable Francis Kapyanga provides significant assistance in various ways, including funerals. And since it has come from you, I thought I should also emphasize on that. Unfortunately, time does not really allow us, but some people have raised concern about Mpika Urban Mortuary. I don't know what exactly they want to be done, but there is also a concern to have Mpika Urban Clinic upgraded, seeing that Mpika has become highly populated. So as you address those things, I would love to ask the next question, which I ask each and every guest that comes here. Seeing some of the developmental projects that have come through, which a lot of people, Honorable, have actually commended you, saying you've done quite a lot. For a member of parliament who is in the opposition to talk of so much developmental project, people have appreciated you. the question that most people obviously would want to know is that, do you intend to recontest the seat of Mpika as area member of parliament come next year? And if yes, why should people give you yet another chance? And if not, why are you deciding to quit? Maybe you want to stand as president, seeing that there is a vacuum in the opposition.
Thank you so much. And just to attend to the first concerns raised by our people back home, I'm sure the issue of the mortuary, I forgot to mention. Load shedding brought about a very bad challenge to me, and that was the most challenging part to me in my tenure as a member of parliament. We have 2 mortuaries in Mpika. Of course, we have 3 big health facilities. That is Mpika Urban Clinic, which used to serve as our only hospital, one of our 2 only hospitals in Mpika. But the other one is in Chilonga, which is about 30 kilometers, like I had mentioned. So we had Mpika Urban Clinic, which was serving the town part. We have a mortuary in Chilonga. We also have a mortuary at Mpika Urban Clinic. Now, because of load shedding, the mortuary could not function. It could go for 2-3 days without properly functioning. And as a result, bodies in the mortuary started rotting. The people wanted to go and bury their loved ones. First thing they are greeted by is a bad smell from the mortuary. And that could not, I could not sleep for 2-3 weeks because I had no means of attending to the problem. I decided to engage the Ministry of Energy for them not to be load shedding the facility. They failed because the line to which the facility is a must switch off because it's within the highly populated area. So we decided to cancel 2 or 3 projects from the Constituency Development Fund and channel the funds towards the installation of solar powered systems. We installed solar panels at Mpika Urban Clinic to power the entire clinic and the mortuary. So maybe the concern that was being raised, if it's in regard to this, and maybe the one raising the concern has not been there after, I can assure you that's a thing of the past. We sorted out that problem, and even if there is no power, our mortuary functions pretty well. And even today, even a few days ago when I was in Mpika 2 weeks ago, I passed there and the facility is properly functioning. The issue of Mpika Urban Clinic being upgraded is actually on cards. We started with we are co-doing it with the central government. Central government, there are buildings that central government wants to renovate, and there are also buildings that we are renovating slowly with the Constituency Development Fund because we want it to become a level 1 hospital. What happened, Mr. Kazungo, is that when the then government constructed Michael Chirufyasata, they hurriedly commissioned it without putting in place the necessary equipment. They got equipment from Michael Chirufyasata, the Mpika Urban Clinic, and took to Michael Chirufyasata, thereby leaving the Mpika Urban Clinic as just an OPD facility. This has made our people moving long distances from town going to Malambwa and Chilonga because that's where they can be admitted. But as Member of Parliament, we've started renovating Mpika Urban Clinic bit by bit. We started with the maternity annex. We've renovated it and equipped it with modern equipment. Next, there are buildings that we've targeted, we renovate. Government also is also renovating others. Thereafter, we re-equip and make it a referral or a level 1 hospital. Then regarding my, if I want to stand again or not, from where I stand, I'm still very energetic. I still have the passion and the commitment to serve my people. I still love my people very much, and I still want to contribute to the growth of Mpika, not because I'm the most intelligent or the most vested in terms of wisdom, but because I think my contribution is still valuable. But the challenge and the ultimate decision lies with the people of Mpika. Should the people of Mpika tell me to rest, I will gladly accept, because that is their decision. Like, they made a decision to make me a member of parliament. They can equally decide that I should rest and allow others to come in. But what I pray is that when I consult them, they will agree that I continue serving the election. Should the people of Mpika say I continue serving as a member of parliament, yes, I will contest the 2026 general elections. But should they decide otherwise, well, I will thank them and focus on other ventures. I'm still youth if I can still be valuable in other ventures.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Honorable, as we wrap up, there is a youth out there knowing that we're going towards an election, and they have been inspired that you go to parliament at the age of 35 and you are still youthful, and they hope to get a word of encouragement from you, because maybe the political environment seems to be hostile for them. They are scared that in case they get into it, they'll be bullied, or they do not have enough financial resources to help them run the race. What advice would you have for such kind of youths that want to get into the political arena, but they're being held back due to maybe financial challenges, among other things?
First and foremost, it's not just about being a youth. It's also about being a youth with content in terms of gray matter. I can tell and advise my fellow youths and encourage them actually that you should identify some of the leaders that you can be closer to for mentorship and also for some kind of support. You know, support can even be a prayer. A prayer is also support. A one kwacha is also support. And an advice is also support. My encouragement to my fellow youths is that please believe in yourself, first and foremost. Believe in yourself and have that ambition. No one should intimidate you that, no, don't be over ambitious as a youth. No, in fact, it's good for a youth to be over ambitious. Because, you know, when you, for instance, when one becomes a councillor, that is necessary for leadership. They are learning leadership. They are learning politics there. Tomorrow they become a council chairperson. They are learning leadership there. The day after tomorrow, they become an MP. They are learning leadership there. The next thing, who knows, they might be a minister, they might be a president. So when you are denying the youth a chance to participate in the political affairs of our country, we are equally denying our country future leadership. You have inexperienced people running the affairs of the country. But when you encourage youth to get involved in decision making, you are actually creating a reservoir of leadership for future youth. Zambia will have a reservoir of leadership. So for me, I always stand available to help my fellow youths who would want to venture, who would want to join. I always encourage them and I always be near them. Like someone was saying, someone talked about me encouraging the youth back home. Right now, I've started identifying youths that can be councillors. I've started identifying youths that can even be council chairpersons. I also encourage others that can compete as members of parliament. Even those that are here that they are competing with me, I actually call them and say, "Ingamlefu akotuma bola kuti mwaisa na miafu ako na mishitira kona imotuma bola mwaya pela koba youth filafini. Limbite timube ba MP pali mailo, but kuntashi lianshiri okuti mwaisa ba MP, and I'll feel good that when I was there." That's when he started aspiring, and today he's a member of parliament from Mpika. It will actually reduce on people who left Mpika in 1964. Then, because there is an election in 2026, they come and say, "Oh, tuaisa kumpika eko tuafumine tulefo kuimina." It will reduce the people who have people from within and entrust them with the positions of leadership. When we have people that we've mentored for future years.
Honorable, I would love to say thank you so much for being my guest today, the 24th of September 2025. Once again, I do not take your time for granted. It means a lot, and I'm really, really grateful that you were my guest this evening. And I hope this has been also good on your end.
You are welcome, and I've really enjoyed the interaction. I hope even next time I will be invited. Thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you so much. To our viewers, we are back again next week with another episode of Whipple Keep, hopefully with a member of parliament from your constituency. Until then, thank you so much for following these social media platforms. My name is Ken Dumbo, and my guest was Honorable Francis Robert Kapyanga from Mpika. Bye.